So one of the biggest challenges that this Odisha circuit is facing right now is everyone is chasing fame. Everyone. If you are once the MUN circuit, you are not generally focusing upon how to be a quality, a good delegate that everyone will look up to, but you are rather chasing how many conferences I have to do before I can get an EB position.
We are uncancelable, by the way. At this point, we are the Rakhi Sawant and Urfi Javed of the circuit. I was not very okay with expressing my sexuality or my identity that well. But MUNs brought me to a large forum of people who had these liberal opinions about certain aspects of sexuality, gender and all these things.
There is no controversy. Where is this coming from?
It's like BJP doing chota corruption. चलो, welcome guys. हाँ चलो, आज ऐसे स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं. So before this podcast मैं सोचा कि क्या बात करेंगे. MUNs है अब पॉलिटिक्स, तो स्टार्ट करते हैं. Are MUNs biased?
Okay.
पहला सवाल, बैंगन.
Okay.
बैंगन से स्टार्ट करना है. पूछ रहा हूँ. देखो मैं कॉन्टेक्स्ट बता.
MUNs biased means in what sense are you asking?
So context is कि like the previous MUNs that I have attended, कभी-कभी ऐसा लगता है, फील होता है कि एक दो prizes उसी कॉलेज के
अच्छा
is getting it. तो बायसनेस थोड़ा ना होता है like prizes में. तो आप सबने like बहुत ज्यादा you have been EBs in a lot of conferences. तो क्या वो एक्चुअली होता है, पहला सवाल. दूसरा, एक्सेल शीट जो मार्क होता है उसके पीछे की कहानी क्या है?
Okay, so I'll start.
Sure.
So first, though, there's this one specific school that I won't name, but
Got it.
हाँ, everybody knows. So वहाँ पे तो it's a fixed narrative only. I don't know if it happens now also, but back in the days it used to happen that the best delegate was at least fixed for somebody who was from the school, no matter if they were good enough or not. I have also been up. No, I can't say that. Okay, you will know. Okay, no.
No, eventually they know.
But so that was the system. Baki, I have not seen it happen anywhere where institutions have interfered that much ki give prizes to our students only. Now coming to the Excel sheet. So most of the times what happens is, I've seen most EBs usually divulge their marking criteria from the beginning of the session only, which is a transparent way to go about it so that everybody knows. But objectively, if you look at it, breaking down the facade of impartiality, we are all humans at the end of the day. So that bias factor comes in instantly. So most of the times what happens is, if somebody asks me how to perform well in an MUN, my advice to them is always this one clear thing, that start speaking the moment you enter the committee, even if the committee has started or not, so that the EBs notice you from that point on. So there's a psychological game that happens where you are fighting for their attention, and once that attention is logged and the first impression is built, that continues throughout the session. well.
You know what, like एक committee मैंने करी थी like out of Bhubaneswar, and it was filled with like very experienced delegates. तो वहाँ पे ये चीज़ मैंने notice भी करी थी कि like before actually the chair arrives in the committee, the delegates started to have influence on the other delegates, like the professional ones or the, I would say, the experienced ones. They started to have, I would say, the influence in whatever sense they wanted the committee to run. So that is very important in the first place itself. बाकी जो ये है कि the pre-deciding of certain things, this is something which I have noticed in schools majorly, and I believe सभी लोगों ने स्कूल में ही नोटिस किया, because जितने कॉलेज कॉन्फ्रेंसेस चेयर की हम लोगों ने, उसमें it's not the case, right? तो यही है मतलब
like मैं पूछने का तरीका ये था कि आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि प्री डिसाइडेड, बट कभी कभी फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं एक ईबी हूँ और मेरा एक दोस्त वहाँ पे बैठा है एंड ही इज अ वेरी एक्सपीरियंस्ड डेलीगेट, और वहाँ पे बहुत सारे न्यू कमर्स भी है, तो वहाँ पे इट्स अ वेरी जेन्युइन थिंग कि मेरा एक सर्टन मेंटल बायस रहता है उसके प्रति, तो और जिसकी वजह से लास्ट में वो जीत जाता है, वहां पे एक न्यू कमर के लिए उस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में टू बी अ बेस्ट डेलीगेट व्हाट कैन बी द पाथवे।
तो अभी ये भी एक चीज होती है ना कि जब भी हम कमेटी करते हैं, दो चीज दिमाग में रहती है, या तो जाके वहां मस्ती करनी है या तो जाके कुछ सीख के आना है। अब ये अगर नहीं है तो दूसरा ये कि सामने वाला कौन बैठा है। अगर सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल दोस्त भी निकला मेरा, तो अगर इस साइड वाला ईबी पैरेंट ट्रूथफुल है अपने काम को लेके, तो वो देखेगा नहीं सामने कौन बैठा हुआ है। बाकी वो जो जैसा न्यू कमर हो, एक्सपीरियंस वाले को तो और बायसनेस नहीं होती
exactly.
जबकि अंडरडॉग किया जाता है उनको कि भाई नहीं तुम न्यू कमर को उठाओ, उसके बाद अगर तुम कुछ कर पाए तो बात अलग है, नहीं तो वो प्री डिसीजन भी वही एक सिस्टम ही है।
नहीं, आई विल टेल यू कि like if what you're saying is about the friendship वाला part, so जो लोग थोड़े से experience रहते हैं, professional type होते हैं, so they always do this thing कि no matter what I'll be fair to my like marking scheme and everything, and you do whatever it takes to like, अगर तूने genuinely अच्छा किया है तो I'll give you the award, else you forget about this thing. And I have noticed like very senior delegates as well कि वो लोग ऐसे पूरे 2-3 दिन तक बात ही नहीं करते हैं just because कोई वो bias वाला factor ना आ जाए conference में, to avoid that thing, right? So this is something which is very important again. और अगर दो लोग genuinely MUN करते हैं तो this bias वाला factor नहीं आता है, but again कुछ लोग ऐसे भी होते हैं जो
उठ के आ जाते हैं,
जो करते हैं,
वो
राइट, वो कुछ
बोलेंगे कि नहीं
करेंगे नहीं,
ये बंदा इसको दिया मतलब कुछ इन्फ्लुएंस आएगा।
Because that has always been the case with me especially. Because everyone refers to me as the most approachable chair possible, and I'm friendly with everyone. You guys are what, like much younger to me. Astha to is in 12, she's 10 years younger to me, and I'm still like good friends with her. So this has been the case since the very beginning. Everyone who performs well is at some level friends with me. So that comes into the picture that whoever gets an award, that bias question comes into their mind. That ye to sabke saath, then that is the thing na. I'm nice to everyone. Everyone is not getting an award, no.
That's
if that would have been the case, you wouldn't have had to burn a certificate. I would have easily given you the best delegate in that committee. Burn certificate.
ये तब हुई थी जब हम गए थे बैंड बजाने एक कॉन्फ्रेंस।
अरे that is the second part. The first part
first part is my experience. So I won't name the MUN, of course.
You can
नहीं no.
इतने विवाद नहीं करने।
I can't name the institution. Okay. Because if I name the institution,
खत्म exactly. नहीं.
हाँ. My degree is at stake. So there was this conference where I was sharing with one person, basically. Like for the first time only I was sharing with the said person, and in that committee also that was the case. Everybody who was a good performer was my friend. Sankalp, Namrata, Astha, everyone's Sneha was also there. Most people I knew. So if that biasness comes into play, it would have been very easy for me to give the best delegate to Sankalp, Namrata, anyone. But what happened is that the best this is one. See, I've been MUNing for 10 years now, but this one, on a serious level, this one particular MUN I would always consider it as a blotch on my career because of the indiscretion that happened, which I should have been more careful about. And rather than being swayed by what I was being portrayed in front of me,
I got it.
I've already started.
Yes. Pillars.
You guys, I ask you to stop me.
We want our thumbnail.
So so basically, I was portrayed something which was not the real thing. I was kept in dark about certain things, and to put light in darkness, you need to burn a fire, which Sankalp did.
So, अच्छा, तो like what my mindset was that कि एक दिन की कॉन्फ्रेंस थी वो, ठीक है, and
no, I have not completed. Yeah. Getting back to your mark sheet question. So my mark sheet made it clear that Sankalp, Namrata were on the top. But a mark sheet is not always governed by one person. There are two people at play in that. So when the second person's mark and my marks tallied, there was a huge difference. And when it comes to the basic idea of fairness, most EBs believe that whatever your mark sheet says, go by that. Don't make any, as Sanat said in your podcast also, don't make any change in it because of your biasness factor कि इसको एक mark दे देंगे तो ये बढ़ जाएगा. So I've been thinking, yeah, very impartial of me. My friends are not winning. So impartial. But later I realized that partiality actually happened, but not on my end. So that is something that even as when you start EBing, you should be careful about who you are sharing with. So that I'm not saying the person I was sharing with was at fault, but what I could have done better was gotten deeper into the matter of the fact and seen that if the actual marks given to the person who won the award is what they deserved. Because chits are something again that happens under the table. It does not come to the surface. So this time also when we both chaired SIT MUN, that was the reason why we limited the number of chits to a very less extent.
Also, कितने ज़्यादा delegate? 140 plus delegates.
We have seen this happening. It gives a chance to everyone. It happens
140
under
delegates,
the table.
80 presenting themselves.
हाँ वही.
Everything happens under the table. So when a person gets higher mark based on chits, that's a question that comes to the forum, that how did they win? Because over on the face of it, they're not performing that well. So that is what happened, and it was a one-day conference. So that also left a lot of room for some indiscretions to happen. But eventually, the truth came to light through fire.
Okay, so what happened? Like I'll tell you my perspective. ठीक है? तो
hydrate.
सच में जला दिया था क्या?
हाँ और तेरे क्या लग रहा है?
Yeah, and there was a video.
And then there is the second
oh my
conference.
God.
And then there is also second conference.
There's second.
वो छोड़ दे.
वो चलो बाद की बात. वो तो अभी बहुत recent है. हाँ.
This I don't know.
We'll see.
अच्छा चलो अभी बात
करते हैं अभी.
तो उस वाले में क्या हुआ था? It was one day conference, ठीक है? And I was very prepared because I was sharing the committee for the first time with Namrata as well as Astha. So I knew that competition is there in the committee. So I was like, let's go. अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करके जाएंगे और एक दिन की कॉन्फ्रेंस है तो आई वाज लाइक प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर लाइक अराउंड अ वीक और सो. तो up till lunch break or like half of the day I knew that I was somewhere in the let's say the award list or mark sheet. वो आपको अंदाजा लग जाता है. उसके बाद फिर धीरे धीरे started like मुझे नहीं पता लगी थी the importance of chits at that moment of time. तो I knew कि Namrata is going to like somehow when I got this thing in my mind, मैंने कहा ठीक है, I never had a problem with that because Namrata में एक ही साथ थे हम लोग तो उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी. So I was like okay चलो कुछ नहीं सही, हाई कॉम तो आएगा. and then जब results announced हुए and everything turned out and even Astha was shocked and I was shocked too.
And I have done full reality show announcement that it's the very first time somebody coming from Western Odisha is getting an award on their first ever MUN. Like full emotional drama I have done.
Post that he got trauma.
Yeah.
उसके बाद फिर I was like जिसको फिर हाई कॉम मिला था and I was like I have never seen him like giving a speech or anything like that. Then I asked the chair कि भाई क्या कहाँ रह गया, क्या दिक्कत होगी. Then they said कि chits की वजह से there was a difference. And जिस like उससे उस टाइम पे I only had like 4, 5, 6 good MUNs in my like resume. तो जितने भी मैंने किए थे I had never put a lot of emphasis on giving chits to the chair and everything.
Because that's a very new concept, trust me. Back in the day,
concept
speeches were marked most importantly.
So एक chits का ही बताओ. Chits are something because of what I am losing like the top awards in every.
No. So what happens? No.
So that is why I'm slowly trying to bring that difference where I have always taken speeches as most important.
And I think जो पहले से आ रहे हैं, like जो थोड़े पुराने हैं, they still do the same thing. Even like when we chair, we always put more emphasis on the speeches वाला part. कि chit में तो आप कभी भी कुछ भी कहीं पे भी.
But then the new ones always ask for more chits. This is what happened this time.
So the mindset of chits, what has happened is since 2019, which is the online period that happened. That got into chits wala. But before that, there was no chits, no internet, nothing. There we took only information of 20 pages of booklet. We'll go there and we'll do conference. No mobile phones, no electronic gadgets.
Are this WhatsApp groups that they create before MUNs.
दंगे होते हैं वहाँ.
हाँ.
अरे
मैं एंजॉय करता हूँ. मैं ग्रुप में
Complete
बोलता हूँ
nonsense
yes,
things.
बोलो क्या
हाँ.
करना है.
You can't pre-decide more.
वही
Mods, yes.
वही. तो
Like it has to
When
happen
I
through
did my
lobbying.
first MUN like last year KIT MUN,
हाँ.
KIT International MUN. मेरे को तब से लगने लगा था कि WhatsApp groups are the place जहाँ पे तुम लोग पहले से decide करके आते हो फिर वहाँ
नहीं, that's not the real thing.
That is why when I
बकवास.
first said that my advice has always been enter the committee and speak.
हाँ,
That
हाँ,
used to happen because you would establish a hold over the direction. So that the first timers and the middle level experienced people would think that you are somebody who knows everything.
Exactly.
And they would listen to your suggestions about running the committee and whatever moderate caucus topics would be discussed. So that role always the experienced delegates had to decide the direction of the committee, as well as provide research to the ones who
Yes.
do not have that amount of research to pass their moves.
Exactly. And
People nowadays do not do that. They do not provide research. They say कि if they provide research, it will be stolen, forged, and
That
then they'll like,
collaborative
approach is not there. हाँ. And even अभी जब हम लोग करते हैं ना, like जब मैंने शुरू किया था, like I started post COVID because COVID मेरे को पता था कोई sense था नहीं करने का. तो post COVID में when like initially even I was like ऐसा हो गया था कि WhatsApp में सारा discussion हो, so I was also very involved. But when I actually got into the committee, I was like कि नहीं अगर इनको physically influence कर सकते हैं, so let's do that.
Like most of you stay silent in those.
हाँ, मैं अभी भी exactly हम लोग अभी भी अगर करते हैं
है कि like WhatsApp groups में कुछ लोग बहुत ज्यादा dominant है.
हाँ
हाँ मतलब
exactly this happens a lot.
I'll tell you, I had this conference doing, I was a delegate, ठीक है, and then what happened, everyone discussed in WhatsApp group कि we'll do this, he's dominating that, he's not giving me chance to speak. Committee में आके देखने से वो छुचुंदर के बैठा है वो. I'm like, why bro? इतना तो बोल रहा था WhatsApp में, come here speak.
WhatsApp पे you can never trust. WhatsApp discussions and everything कुछ नहीं है ये.
So EB should not interfere in the direction of the committee that
You
much.
did.
But I do. Because when you have a WhatsApp group and you're discussing everything and the EB is asking you, please don't do this.
But
Have
then
a
still
proper-
doing.
हाँ.
Still doing.
SIT when it was the first time I saw like Arya bhai camera इतना लिखा.
Yeah, I
हाँ.
Yes,
say,
he wrote,
had
I'm
to.
like, I'm texting him, but why you're writing? Leave it.
because
Do not
that
do it.
creates a power imbalance. No. These people have already decided everything. There's nobody who's getting a chance to rise as a best delegate in that committee.
Like I came across one committee जब मैं शायद इसमें था कॉप्स में था. So उसमें किट के कुछ like I guess 30 or 40 people were from KIT only. तो वहाँ पे वो डिसाइड करके आते थे पहले से.
This is which conference?
40 लोग लास्ट ईयर KIT.
अच्छा last year. अच्छा.
अरे जो पिछला गया भाई,
कॉप 28 वाला.
सब लोग इधर थे. इधर
50 लोग पूरा डिसाइड करके आते थे किट के कि ये करना है. व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में एक डिस्कस करते थे फिर वहां पे आगे बदल देते थे.
हाँ,
वही
this is
That
again
is
the
the thing, that
I'll
is
tell you this
those
like how this
strategies.
happens. ठीक है, ये जो decide करके आने वाला fact, especially when you play in numbers. ठीक है, तो there's a concept of delegation. Like this is what we also do as like
you तो
I won't name but हाँ ये as a delegation हम लोग करते हैं कि like if we have a good number and good majority in the committee we will influence that and there's nothing wrong in it, right? So ये जो चीज थी this was like well planned, well strategized, तो ऐसा होता है.
नहीं, वर्ल्ड बैंक में जब मैं था किट में भी यही हुआ था कि दे स्टार्टेड एवरीथिंग एंड
So guys, we have a new guest, Namrata Mishra, the controversial queen of MUN circuit.
And she proved it.
The very first moment. Okay. So we were talking about biasness in MUN. What's your experience?
So I have never been a direct victim to the very concept
Have you been
of
a beneficiary?
biasness. Never. I've been very, I believe that merit is the only way through which the circuit should run.
You too.
Yeah.
I believe, that's my belief. You can never challenge my belief. So I do not generally get involved in the direct controversies that is running in the circuit. But in a way, if you're an integral part of the circuit,
What
you're
nice.
also...
She's not directly involved in the
it's
controversy.
okay.
The controversy is on
There is no controversy. Where is this coming from?
everywhere.
Me.
You're supposed to be my wingman.
Not
don't
really.
know. I don't
Otherwise, I would be accused of biasness again.
But even if anyone accuses, even if anyone accuses Hari Therapathy of being biased, I mean, he is being biased towards the right kind of people.
That's a good one.
All of us are going to be cancelled.
I don't know if
It's okay. I am old. I am not going to do more MUNs. You guys are not getting invited to any more after this.
His judgment is very fair.
Experience.
Very fair. As I mean, there has been not a single MUN where Arya Senapati has chaired and his judgment has
Why
been
are you
challenged.
talking about me?
Right.
And question
You asked your general question.
What was the question? Have
what do you think? What do you think about biasness happening in the MUN?
I have already been portrayed as the Karan Johar of the fucking.
Not take the name, but before SIT MUN हुआ था conference वहाँ पे
There's selective preference.
reporter
Selective preference.
कौन सी conference?
So yeah, essentially,
How do I
this is not very selective. Like this biasness is not very selective to any circuit. Odisha circuit, be Odisha circuit, Kolkata circuit, Hyderabad circuit. This is something that stays. But again, we have to look at the bright side of money and how much it improves people. But when we talk about Odisha circuit in general, I have done some 25 odd conferences till now. And in all the conferences that I have been a part of, I have in a way witnessed the judgment to be biased in some of the committees. And that is something that is unavoidable. I mean, you cannot just go around point fingers at everyone. Yes, it matters that if you're in a position of power and there are people who look up to you, your opinion, your voice matters.
it's like BJP doing chota corruption.
Chota corruption. But yeah, that should always be questioned. I mean,
accept it.
you should be the last person to point that out.
No, for a BJP supporter,
Fine.
your love
See,
for Mamata Banerjee's state
let me clarify. Okay,
But then
I'm here.
that's what she does.
I'm here to be
she does.
act as a devil's advocate. ठीक है
अच्छा.
ताकि एक अच्छा conversation निकल गया.
Okay.
इसलिए मैं पूछा.
Controversial. You want the spice. You want the spice,
I
right?
want views.
I won't give you the spice.
I want views.
Because then I'll be cancelled.
We are uncancelable, by the way. At this point, we are the Rakhi Sawant and Urfi Javed of the circuit.
And the very ugly reality of the circuit is a lot of conferences run only on the grounds of connections.
Absolutely.
And that should never be the case in any MUN. Because when you select executive board members on the basis of their merit, their sheer knowledge and in-depth knowledge about MUNs, only then you can expect transparency. If tum log ye connection basis pe you are appointing EBs who are not even that much qualified to judge the competency of other delegates in the committee, then how do you even judge the credibility of the judgment of the committee?
Absolutely. But that's again an utopian belief. We can't reach that level where it happens in that
But
utopian
at least
sense.
you have to take a step forward.
You have to speak against it, but there will always be people with enough connections to do things. Like recently only we both were talking about an executive board panel of a certain MUN. So what has happened right now is people are organizing conferences just
Individual
so that
conferences on
they and their friends
capability.
can share. I remember back in the day, me and a group of my friends used to organize an MUN. I was the chief coordinator of that, chief advisor of that MUN in particular. So when my poster was put up to chair a particular committee, one of my seniors from the circuit told me that it should not be the case. Like if you're involved in the organizing committee of a particular MUN, you should not be on the executive panel of that particular MUN to maintain an equilateral ground and a fair representation in the panel. So I took a step back. That should be the case in most MUNs going forward so that you have a level playing field for everyone. Now, MUNs can never be standardized anyway, because there's no clear authority that can ensure that standardization and implementation of anything. So that utopian idea of that only merit will get you somewhere in the circuit, it will only happen to a very specific group of people. There will always be another segment where resources and connections would matter more as does in society in general.
And then also this connection and merit also have a different perspective, because
exactly.
that connection,
Huh.
for example, when you invite someone, we know that this person has merit, he can bring good things to the table.
Exactly.
So that also comes into a questionable part, that he has connection with
exactly.
him. That's
again value judgment.
Yes. So that creates a source of ground is created when we invite someone, but then they claim it as connection. That goes wrong to a party.
Also,
multiple sides.
what I have observed is that, especially the new delegates who are coming up, is that they are more running towards chairing a conference rather than learning what is required to at least reach to a particular level, right? And the time when we actually started, like me and Namrata started at around the same time, we were the ones who were questioning our own capability, that whether we'll be able to like serve as an executive board member or not. Despite of doing like around 20 plus MUNs, we were still questioning.
We were even thinking that we are not even capable to be in the director position.
No, this is where I will intervene. I know Shreyansh from before, like we used to delegate much before. After COVID, when I came back, I did not do a single online MUN. After I came back to the circuit after a gap of 2 years, Sankalp, Namrata and Asta were 3 people that I saw who had potential to take the circuit forward as good enough delegates in that particular MUN itself. So that has been primarily because these people have never been interested in EBing to that extent, because there's this belief that you don't necessarily need to be a good EB to be a good delegate. You need not necessarily be a good delegate to be a good EB. The skills required for both are very different, and you need to learn that through an eventual progression.
What should be the, like, how much conferences you should attend as a delegate to understand you are eligible to be an EB or not?
You know, I'll just answer that. First thing is, a good EB is someone who at any point will be willing to
Delegate under any conference. Exactly. They don't have this ego factor coming on between.
Despite being they want to be or not, despite being, as for example, they go to an interview, they give an interview, they're not selected, they have an ego, I won't go to this. But then there are some of the people who get interview and they still go and do delegation.
Absolutely.
हमने क्या?
SIT थोड़ी
delegation team to SSC. ठीक है, we were like EB में नहीं जाएंगे, we'll go and delegate and we'll show them who's the boss.
You should.
She did it. She did it.
Yeah, she always does it.
We all did it.
We all did it actually.
So that is the thing, like, that used to happen back in the day also. Like people used to EB and delegate at once. Now after I've come back, I have just done a few MUNs as an executive board member.
Very different.
But this thing I would really like to appreciate about Shreyansh Mohanty, that he's going back to doing a few MUNs as a delegate, as a reporter.
He does not restrict himself to his own comfort zone. Like even if he does reporting, but he's always open to doing Indian committees,
delegations as well.
In KIIT, he went to a UN committee and he grabbed the best delegate award. So that proves that he's a very versatile delegate.
That sort of also brings back that spark you had for
Like, I'll tell you about the fact that
sorry.
The thing is, there is always a different kind of excitement when you delegate. No matter how much conferences you have done as an executive board, the real thrill actually comes in delegating. And especially when you have like chaired a couple of conferences and then you come back to delegate, you have the idea of both the sides, like how both the things work out. So this favors in your, like, I would say in your situation, but then again, uska ek alag maza hai, right?
There's also one more thing happens, that when you go executive board and then the people are there, they know you, and then when you go delegating in the same committee, they say, sir, you were in executive board, why you are coming as a delegate? My route
has happened to me.
My route was delegation. Why would I not do it?
After I started doing
actually, the very approach of how people perceive MUNs nowadays is very different. They just come to win a best delegate award, and if they do not win that, they're like questioning the judgment of the EBs. But that should never be the case. At least for me, it has never been the case. Like initially, I used to be a very ugly competitor.
No, this happens. Let's actually talk about
emotion is money.
Absolutely.
The only emotion is money.
It has become a very capitalistic approach.
Also, Arabia, like, you have been like you do have done a lot of conferences, so you also agree to this ki after a conference, like you have chaired a particular conference, there are a lot of things associated with like post conference, I would say, backlashes that come up, right? And this is something which a chair cannot avoid under any circumstances, right? So मैंने तो कुछ चेयर से ऐसी सुन रखा है, like they were not from our circuit but outside Delhi वगैरह में, कि they used to get like kind of death threats in order to like
we have also got
well, this happens. This is one of the biggest backlash of like chairing a conference and no, this happens a lot of death, but still.
I'll ask you. Conference in other states. All of you have been.
Yes.
मतलब outer circuits we have explored.
Outside circuit,
yes.
What the like experience are different?
See, there would be differences largely in terms of approach towards debating. Like Calcutta circuit mein, their approach towards debating is extremely fine. The research that goes behind their performance is extremely
They've
nuanced.
dedicated MUN societies that is fully functional,
Yes.
training them regularly about how
There's
to
an alumni connect also where
Exactly.
there are these veterans who train the newcomers to perform well. So that is something that should happen in every circuit.
What are we lacking as a Odisha circuit?
Lot of things.
The approach.
Where do I
approach
start?
towards
नहीं,
research.
All of you talk about.
No, I'll tell you the good part. ठीक है, मतलब मैंने जितना analyze किया है.
Because Sankalp is like the
नहीं.
flag bearer of MUN.
नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूँ like the reality thing.
Trying to educate a lot of people through his YouTube videos. The Sankalp
Subscribe.
Culture, guys.
Paid promotion.
अरे,
He's paying us actually.
This backlash thing also Sanat addressed in our video. It happens to every executive board member. Some present a very pure image that it has never happened to us.
नहीं.
If it has not happened to you, then you have not done your job well.
Exactly.
Okay.
मतलब कुछ बुरी चीज नहीं हुई तो भाई तुम कुछ कर ही नहीं रहे हो.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
हाँ, नहीं.
बीट अ डेलीगेट बीट अ एग्जीक्यूटिव बोर्ड, दोनों साइड में ये होता है.
हाँ.
डेलीगेट बन के भी विवाद ना हो तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
डेलीगेट में तो विवाद करनी जाना चाहिए. मतलब व्हाट इज अ कॉन्फ्रेंस विदाउट विवाद?
Like, if you don't establish conflict, how do you reach a solution?
Yeah.
Supported.
No.
We need to talk.
Okay. See, एक तो सवाल था मेरा, ठीक है. On a serious note, MUNs all over India बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. Every circuit has its own, pros and cons and everything. We go to do a lot of research kind of thing. उसके बाद भी, what are the real societal impact that we actually do have as a citizen after doing a lot of, MUNs, after doing a lot of research, after gaining a lot of political knowledge? Do we, actually create a true political societal impact? पहला सवाल. And secondly, अगर नहीं हो रहा है, तो ultimately
क्या फायदा?
पब्लिक स्पीकिंग और अपना खुद का नॉलेज बढ़ाने के अलावा व्हाट्स द रोल ऑफ ऑल दिस थिंग?
Okay, I'll answer that from a delegate perspective.
Okay.
Since you're an oldie to the circuit already.
Oh my God, stop. I'm like, this Yeah.
So basically, before doing MUNs, I did not have a lot of geopolitical knowledge, or like, I did not have a clear outlook of the world that is right in front of me. I had a very blurred vision of the reality. But after I started doing HRC committees, like human rights committees, UNCSW and UNHRC, under Arya Senapati, the man, the myth, the legend. So I started gaining a lot of knowledge about, the human rights, specifically the LGBTQ community, their rights, their involvement in the society. I gained a deep admiration and respect for the community as a whole, since I've always looked up to Arya Senapati, and he has been a role model to me throughout my life, since I've been doing MUNs. So it was like, it's like, I grew a sort of connection for those people, and I went deep into research about those things. So that is one thing that changed a lot about my perspective about the world. And second, I gained a deep interest in political science and international relations. I always had a hooked to learn more of those. But through these MUNs and all, I got a grip over the entire subject, and that deeply interested me a lot. So yeah, MUNs extend much beyond just winning Best Delegate awards. It has actually a real life impact because it not only it improves your outlook towards the world, but also it improves your self-confidence,
self-awareness,
your communication skills, your confidence, everything as a whole. I can easily say that MUN has changed my life in ways I never even imagined.
Like this question of yours, I generally answer before starting every MUN that I do. I make sure that I make people understand why they are doing MUNs by giving this one example. So being a law student, this example is something that I always come up with. So the story of decriminalization of Section 377 of Indian Penal Code goes like, there was the first case, that is Nas Foundation versus State of Delhi, where the Delhi High Court stated that Section 377 should be repealed. Then there was this case of Suresh Kumar Kaushal in Supreme Court of India, which overturned the Delhi High Court judgment, and it was again criminalized. Up until recently, when Navteej Singh Johar case finally overturned that previous decision with a larger bench of judges, and Section 377 was read down once and for all. Now, the only difference between Nas Foundation versus Navteej Singh Johar is that Nas Foundation mein what happened is that the Supreme Court, when it overturned that judgment, they stated that the LGBT community is a minuscule minority. So their right should not be that important of a point of discussion. But in Navteej Singh Johar, there were actual people who belonged to the community that stood in front of the court, shared their stories, shared their experiences, their problems, and demanded a solution from the protector of personal liberties in our nation. So this capacity that stories have of creating change is the only thing that I have always believed in. And if you are leaving an MUN with a story to tell about a particular thing that you hear at an MUN, you are at that instant creating a butterfly effect of change in the mindset of people. Because for me also, coming from a background which has been marginalized for a very long period of time in history, I was not very okay with expressing my sexuality or my identity that well. But MUNs brought me to a large forum of people who had these liberal opinions about certain aspects of sexuality, gender, and all these things. So you feel more comfortable being yourself in that situation, where you are surrounded by people who have similar opinions as you do and have knowledge about an issue. So you're creating a safe space for a lot of people who usually...
accepting society.
Exactly, who fall within the boundaries.
Absolutely.
But then again, there are people who take it very negatively as well. So there are these kind of people will always exist in the society. They would represent an Islamic nation and be like, okay, now we hate LGBT people. But during conferences you do that, it's fine, you're role playing. But after that, if you carry that opinion with you for a lot of time, then it's bigotry.
I'll ask you this question as a lawyer. Like, your rights are decriminalized in the Supreme Court. And when we talk about legalizing marriage, फिर वो सवाल आता है कि if you legalize marriage, you legalize a lot of things like the adoption laws, inheritance laws and everything. So एक तो Supreme Court में marriage legalize हो क्यों नहीं पाया? If you can explain that from a legal point of view. दूसरा, many people say when इतने सारे inheritance वगैरह के laws आते हैं, it goes to the hands of the parliament. Doesn't remain in the hands of the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
तो actually अगर कर भी दिया legal marriage को legalize, ऐसा क्या issue बन जाएगा?
Okay. So when I have to answer that from a legal perspective, of course I can't hold that single perspective because I'm also a part of the community. It is my lived experience. To give you a general sense without getting much into the detail, whenever a law has to be passed, we know that lawmaking power rests with the parliament. Interpretation of law falls on the judiciary, and while interpreting laws, judiciary creates certain precedents that functions as law later on while other cases are being decided. So when we have a complex system of personal laws in India, where we have a separate marriage act for Hindus, a separate marriage act for Muslims, a special marriage act for people of intercaste marriages or interreligion marriages for that matter. So it becomes very tough to interpret that law to include people belonging to the homosexual community or the general queer idea of marriage. So the language is also not very neutral in most of these legislations. It's always man, woman, he, she. So that interpretation also becomes a problem. Now, the easiest approach would have been for the courts to state that the law, which already exists, would be interpreted in this way, that the gender neutral sense would be construed from them. But again, that would lead to a lot of confusion on the part of lawmakers, implementers, and all of them. If you also look at the judgment that the Supreme Court gave, it was if you look at the minority part of that judgment, the specific judges that stood for legalizing same-sex marriage, their arguments would be the ones which would justify why it should be recognized at this point, while the other side gave a differing opinion about the legalities of the matter, that lawmaking power should rest with the parliament. But when we are living in a time where the government has shown its clear dissonance or its clear opposition against legalizing same-sex marriage, who do we look up to? Now, this is me speaking as a person belonging to the community and not as a lawyer. So, whenever I put forward my opinion about it being legalized, most of the times the intellectuals around me, even if they are from the right wing or the left wing, come up to me and tell me, especially lawyers, come up to me and tell me that it would take time. It's an eventual change. It's an eventual progression. But there have been many before me who could not enjoy this right. There would be many after me who would not be able to enjoy this right. It may not happen in my lifetime either. And then the solution comes that you go forward to another nation. You are an intelligent person. You can go to a different country, work there, get married, live happily. But then my nationalist side also comes into picture. If I am happy in my own country, if I want to contribute to the development of my country through whatever limited means that I can do, why should I be forced to make a decision to leave this country just to be with somebody that I love? It's a basic right that everybody should be entitled to. And legalizing it would also consequence in a lot of positive benefits that people from the community can receive. Like recently, there's been a lot of cases where somebody's partner, a queer person's partner, would have lost their lives in the hospital. The family would not claim the body, neither would the hospital allow their living partner to receive the body. So that is something which is purely emotional to go through. And law again functions on a very neutral level where there's no significance of emotions. There's always that impartiality when it comes to a judgment being delivered. But that again is having real consequences over real lives of people. So at this point, I can just hope that this change happens in my lifetime and I get to see it turn into a reality in this country. Because without this hope, I cannot continue expressing myself the way I want to.
But coming to this culture, I would say there's also one thing why is not particularly happening is because the old culture mindset. We cannot have the same sex as right now acceptance. The acceptance problem is also there. If the acceptance problem gets...
That's again not because of Hindu mythology. It's largely a colonial mindset that has been largely misinterpreted as a Hindu ideology. Because if you look at our mythology, it very much exists in the papers, in the stories of our culture.
The problem of the society is the way they perceive our mythology, and they want to be the bandwagon of their culture without having a clear idea of what their culture actually stands for. So, dude, that does not make you look cool.
Do you think like the new generation lawyer that might be coming up, they would have a better impact on the community as compared to the people who are actually making
the judgments right now, because they are coming.
There are many lawyers who are from the queer background and who are trying to create change. There's somebody that I watched their interview or podcast, whichever happened. They graduated from Oxford, and they've been trying to be an instrumental change in, especially the same-sex marriage case. They have an instrumental role to play. That is why you need representation of communities in every profession, not just lawyers. You need queer people and women in corporates. You need queer people and women in judiciary. You need them in parliament, so that there's a diverse opinion of things that happens.
And it's when they represent their rights, it will be having more impact.
Absolutely, because only they know their experiences.
Why do we advocate for women in political power or position of decision making? Because obviously, when they represent their own rights, their own opinions, then only it will create an impact at the larger.
As a man, you can simply be an ally to the feminist movement, but the actual leaders would be the women. So if you don't have their opinions being projected at this stage, how do you bring about change if there's no real problems to be identified?
But then this also gets changed just because, as been saying it, every state and every nation has their own rules and cons and how they proceed to it, right? So, for example, even if there is one person who wants to accept this thing, and then there's another person who does not want, who would impose that should not happen. So that imposing of doing wrong things is much larger than doing is positive.
Absolutely.
That creates a change.
So, like, talking about the mythology part, don't you think that currently without, people are not practically referring to the real documents or the real books, and most of the time they refer to the second Sadhguru form of podcast and, reels and stuff.
Instagram reels.
That's great. But sometimes it's, they don't go into the fundamentals, and it has become cool to talk about a lot of both political and religious stuff without knowing the actual thing.
I have really great things out to say this, because why this happens, because no one reads Bhagavad Gita and every other Hindu mythologies books which actual has everything. Right, they would only see the videos, films, podcasts, Instagram reels, as you said. But then there's one thing, that if the creators who has been writing that up and making new things, if they read it deeply under the circumstances of understanding what it is, then the opinions would matter. Now, opinions, perspective, everyone would have their different perspective on Hindu mythology or whatever it is, being a Ramayana or being Mahabharata, as everything has their own sort of stories, right? But no one knows the whole reality of it, because no one wants to read it.
People, they derive their knowledge just from the source, and they do not have the patience or relevance to dig deep into the subject. And the society is taking advantage of that. Like there was this Adi Purush, which was little no information relevant to our culture.
Adi Prabhas.
That is very much.
Hanuman does not use languages against Ravana.
And that is very much misleading to the children who are being brought up in the society. Like when we were kids, our parents, our grandparents, they read out the scripts from the direct Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and they told us the authentic core, the crust of our culture and our history, which is not a mythology.
That's what I will disagree to. In our culture, you cannot call anything as authentic or original, because there's different variations to everything. Ramayana in itself, the most popular version is the Valmiki Ramayana. But there are many other variations that exist.
I personally think that the epics that we have, mostly the Ramayana and Mahabharata, they have a lot of perception from a lot of states.
Absolutely.
But we also do have proper Indian philosophies, which
Vedanta philosophies.
The Vedanta, Sankhya, all those things, the Patanjali and the atheistic Indian philosophy.
Just to clarify to the people who don't know, Patanjali is not the Ramdev Baba philosophy.
We are not discussing.
I had that thing in mind.
So I feel that in the Indian community, proper Indian philosophers, even all the Jain Tirthankars, every words that they have written, we have never catered to those proper philosophies, and we have only, when you talk about Hinduism, you only come across these three books, Gita, Mahabharata and Ramayana, and we don't actually cater to the proper philosophies that people have written, and they are very, conflicting from each other.
Absolutely.
The thing is that as an audience or as a consumer of, let's say, this kind of, I would say, content as such, is that it is our responsibility as well to whom to trust and to whom to not to trust. And as a responsible audience or as a responsible person who is listening to a particular piece of content, let's say, so you should be trusting to the people who are actually the ones who have read those things, and not just come up
with a random Instagram reels and OTT platforms to be right there.
Anyone and everyone who just comes up and because you like the reel.
And then, like these TV serials and these OTT platforms and these Instagram reels, they have romanticized our culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was
with aesthetic.
There was Radha Krishna, there was in Star Plus aa raha tha, and it was like all vague bullshit, like no credibility to how the divine relationship of Radha and Krishna was, and it was just romanticized as some ordinary love story.
I've always hated the interpretation of Radha Krishna in these serials.
Absolutely.
Because especially in our state, if you go into Geet Govind, there's a lot of sensual description between the relationships of Radha and Krishna. Especially as a Odissi dancer, I've gotten to read a lot about that. So that is what I'm trying to point out here, that there's a lot in our scriptures that we do not even know of. But it's not that important also if you're making that choice to not go deep into that scripture, not read it. But in that case, you should also not be the person who would claim to be the representative of the religion.
As we are only focusing on secondary sources, I guess most of our generation has lost this thing of critical thinking part.
Absolutely.
They they just see and believe a thing, but then they don't actually go into the research part. And here is my next question: YouTube videos, reels and everything, does that have an actual impact on ground in terms of changing a real political scenario or changing a real
to a very large extent?
Dhruv Rathi on the chat, OP in the chat.
I'll be honest. People like Dhruv Rathi and everything, they get a lot of views. But I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, most of them go and make memes out of it. So, like, real impact on the ground, real impact on voting, or proper political societal impact. Does that have, or wo sirf dimag mein?
See, it's very common in society. Religion and leadership have primarily functioned because of blind followership, which is now happening at the age of social media. It is not building influencers, it is building either leaders or religious figures for people, where you look at somebody at a godly light and whatever they say is the absolute truth. And leaders, some at least there's a liberty to question. Okay, but when you look at somebody as a godly figure, you believe everything that they're saying. And that is when you give them a lot of power to influence a lot of opinion to a large extent. And most of these people are not well educated themselves. So their opinion should not matter to that extent. But then there are some people who actually put the research to put out a content forward. I genuinely love this guy, Mohak Mangal, Soch by Mohak Mangal. He does a lot of well-researched like podcasts and content and videos and everything. So that has been a good enough experience. But most people, when they assume that authority over you and make you believe everything and rotate, so that sort of creates a perception in the mindset of people that this behavior is right. Sandeep Reddy Bhanga.
Okay. So, animal, like adding on to that, the concept of media, like even when I try to like start out with the YouTube wala thing, is that I also had this question ki like kya fayda is cheez ka? Like, like it's so less number of people, even like, let's say social media has like made it accessible to a large number of people, but still as a small creator or someone like that, it becomes like itne kam log hai, kya kare? But then the kind of influence that you can have over a piece of content, over a single video is huge. And then when that power turns out to be, let's say, in terms of millions of views, or let's say millions of people associated with you, it gets commoditized.
Absolutely.
Like, it gets, like, when money is associated, then so the quality of research and everything can also go down. So that is where the take of the creator comes up, ki whether the kind of money that is actually coming up, whether he or she is able to like increase his or her quality level or not. That is the case.
And you know, we are already moving to the end of this podcast. And करेंगे एकदम proper controversial note पे. One big issue with the Odisha circuit and that you want to change. दूसरा, I really don't want to ask this, but about the present, like I really want to know about your opinions about the present political scenario, जहाँ पे it has become a very social media game.
Okay.
About MUN. MUN is becoming social media.
No, like general politics.
In general.
Ladies first.
So one of the biggest challenges that this Odisha circuit is facing right now is everyone is chasing fame. Everyone. If you are once the MUN circuit, you are not generally focusing upon how to be a quality, a good delegate that everyone will look up to, but you are rather chasing how many conferences I have to do before I can get an EB position and I can get a lot of recognition and fame. So
Only if people actually thought about that.
The very foundation, when the very foundation of yours is flawed, how are you even imagining to stick to the long run?
Does this problem isn't there in other circuits?
No, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's just now the fact is that it has
Intensified a lot.
कि ऐसी से कि fame लेना and all that. So, but again, you have to understand कि MUN is a very small game.
Absolutely.
In the long run, or in terms of life.
And the idea of MUN should be, it's completely different from what people read. You should never.
And after a certain point, your motivation of doing MUN should also change.
It's all about, currently it has become, it's all about grabbing
grabbing the best element of what everywhere.
Absolutely. You are right. The gratification factor comes into play. People want to be validated through MUNs. And all of us have been there at some level, but then your purpose sort of changes after a while. Like for me, it started with that only, that I need to create a presence by winning awards and establish myself, because I came from a really small town, a town smaller than Cuttack also. I completed my 10th in Kendrapada. So to go from Kendrapada to Sai International School, where there's a high level of classism around you, you have to do something to prove your position in the classroom and in your French circle to that extent, which MUNs let me do. But after that, it changed into, currently it is mentorship. Basically, I want to guide certain people who want to take that information from me. And I have done that effectively to a large extent. And I feel like that purpose is also been satisfied. So I can finally move forward to quitting MUNs in the foreseeable future.
How many odd people in the circuit do you feel do really have the right idea of doing MUNs who are actually going to stick in the long run?
6.
And also, do you think that
6 out of which, like, from the current generation, Shriyansh is of course not from this generation. From the current generation, 3 people I can absolutely name is Sankalp, Namrata and Astha. Rest, there are people I don't want to name, otherwise again that biasness factor would come to play. But then there are 6 to 10 people who I see in the long run establishing their presence in the circuit and taking it forward. But during the COVID time, with the rise of online MUNers, I had lost hope.
The quality of MUN conferences have absolutely come down.
The fame part also comes in a very blunt thing, is that when you become a delegate from starting of your any parts, what one thing you should do is you can gain fame from delegation itself. Do not seek EBs first. Do not do the executive board first in the very first. Like after 2-3 MUNs, you want to be EB just to get fame.
But again, some people enjoy that feeling of authority also.
Because they think that they are big peoples in the circuit, and they get what
those people who can delay a bit of a gratification.
Absolutely. But meritorious people who seek gratification also
should be in
in the long run.
The longer you wait, the hotter you date.
Okay. No. Not really.
Yes. Let's not go there.
Okay, fine. Anyways, we are ending this. So आप दोनों बताओ कि one change you want.
So when we talk about this meritorious वाला part ना, so when you are coming up with a good merit and you're like good amount of conferences and then you're chairing, you have that inherent confidence in you कि कोई भी आ जाए अपन देख लेंगे, उस हिसाब से रहता है. But when people are like 2-3 MUNs and 5-6
Then they go for
they'll
eating
always
positions.
have this there will always be this underconfidence कि
exactly.
अगर कोई हमसे ऊपर आ गया तो क्या करेंगे.
वो कमेटी में जाएंगे ही नहीं.
Ego part आ जाए.
There are a lot of people who have been saying, Namrata, if you're coming to this committee, I'll not go.
That thing is there.
Very shallow.
But if you think somebody is a good enough delegate, take it as an opportunity to learn from them. Why do you have to compete?
At this point of time, we love committees where we genuinely find some good competition.
Absolutely.
Picture, right?
Yeah, I तो always say यार संकल्प पास्ता चलो मिलके फिर से committee करते हैं. We did a committee under you. It was so competitive.
You three are gundas of the circuit currently. Hala, running under me.
Done with all
Mafia.
that. We have done with all.
I'm not MUN mafia. Stop. I am the flag bearer of nepotism currently.
Scenario of all the MUN circuits, because what happens is when someone gives an interview, right? So for example, I'm taking your interview. I need to know the things that I need to interview you about. It's randomly taking interviews and just stating in nahi, you do not know these things creates a shallow point for the person who is giving interview. So the interview part also creates a certain scenarios for delegations also, because then they will think, no, I won't come to this conference because I'll have ego clash with the person because he has not taken my good interview, because he was not much intellect towards myself.
That transparency that RUMUN maintained this year with the EB interview process,
But then
it
that
was truly, and also SIT for that matter, in terms of the transparency during the EB application process was really.
No, RUMUN had all the people who have been a part.
I know that.
Okay. So it already. Let's not go there. That's one thing. Let's not go there.
Okay.
The transport.
I am not associated with Namrata anymore.
We are already running out of time. So, anyways, we're ending this, and the one
I
change.
have one last thing to say. Ban WhatsApp group.
Oh, hi, please. And I have one last thing to say. Ban chits, otherwise I will never win.
Ban WhatsApp.
Anonymous shit.
No, normal chits. I always lose because of chits.
Certification
Up your game. Up your game.
Fine.
Bitches.
Fine.
You say ban WhatsApp.
Okay. So, these are the changes.
2019 है था.
Nah.
Instagram में कर देगा.
चलो. So these are the changes what we all want. कर देना ये सब, पता नहीं जो भी कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हो. And yeah. And thank you everyone for the podcast. चलो.
भाई ये बातचीत करने बैठते ना और 4 घंटे हो जाते.
Yeah. I enjoy doing these things and I regret later.
अभी ये वो दूसरा जलाने वाला बात अगर कर देता अभी तो मजा आ जाता. और तो BTS चौक को फर्क नहीं पड़ता, वो काटा वाला सीन है.
No.
ऐसे मत ना सर. He said everyone की सबका बेस्ट जेल का prizes will be given by the dignitaries who are sitting in the panel.
Shitting.
ठीक है. Shitting नहीं, मैं shitting. अच्छा shitting. Oh fuck. अच्छा ठीक है.